What's going on YouTube? Gonna be making another deck profile for my current build of Shine Sarcophagus post crossover breakers. I know the new hotness is Malice and Ryzeal, but I've been cooking up this Sarcophagus build for a long time, right? Trial error, going through different builds, and the current build I have arrived at right now is really strong in my opinion. But let's go ahead and get this particular part out of the way. I have went ahead and broken Yuki's bonds because this particular build does not play ties. Okay. Now you probably ask, how are you playing Sarcophagus without ties? I mean, simple. It's the same reason people opt to not use the extra deck, because this one card locks you out of it, right? The end board that this makes is so incredibly fragile that it's like you might as well just take the L, bro. If you can't really stop your opponent from playing the game, no deck worth a damn is gonna fold to Silent Magician 0, Silent Swordsman 0, and Gadget Trio that does nothing but sit there. You see what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen. Obviously, those builds generally try to use hand traps to prevent your opponent from getting to these points, or like maybe floodgates, like there can be only one or whatever. But honestly, bro, like you're just better off trying to actually use your extra deck instead of relying on that flimsy board, bro. You know what I mean? Like they usually put cards like Pot of Extravagance with it, Pot of Prosperity, to banish their extra deck to draw into what? Hand traps. I don't know. I don't really see the point of that, because like, yeah, like what is that board really gonna do, bro? But let's go ahead and hop into the actual deck. Main deck is 45 cards, so it's decently big, but it's to try to mitigate drawing combo pieces, because this deck definitely combos. Okay, starting off, we have 2 Gandor. This card is really good. There's not really much to say about it. Pay half your life points, nuke the field. Now the funny thing is with this particular build, it is actually possible to make Gandor's effect entirely one-sided. Now you're probably like, like what are you talking about? Like one-sided? Yes, there is a way to protect all of your cards from being destroyed while destroying all your opponents. You run 1 Dark Magician. I don't run any of the spell cards that mention Dark Magician or trap cards, because he's not in here for that reason. Shine Sarcophagus as an archetype on its own is not very strong, but with this build, I basically turn all of the Sarc monsters into potential combo pieces, and that's why I really like this build. Gadget Trio, of course, gets you to the Sarcophagus. Any monster that mentions it is basically dead without that card on the field, so you want to get this guy. For most people, this is the main normal summon. In this particular build, this is actually secondary. You run 2 Silent Magician Zeros. Spell negate if you have the Sarc on the board. So pretty decent. And then you got Silent Swordsman. Worst one of the bunch, low key, because you're just praying that they target. And it takes standby phases to level this guy up. So while he gets it on both turns, the standby phase is a little too slow, low key. But yeah, just one of these guys. Now, we put Synchrons into the mix. Now, people would say that Sarcophagus doesn't really synergize with other things very well. They tried it with Cashtira, they tried it with Dogmatica, which those can work for it, because it kind of puts it more into a control type of deck, which there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you play the deck how you want to play it. That's why you got that type of freedom, right? But this brings the skill ceiling for this deck so far up that some of the shit that you can make is so broken. Like, it is broken. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like one of the strongest board that you can make with this build is virtually indestructible, and I'm not even joking. We run a Magician Souls package, so 3 souls, 2 chaos. Funnily enough, chaos can actually search the Sarc DM, so depending on how the hand is playing out, this could actually just be extension just outright. So souls package. We run 1-3 and King Regulus. It's a pretty simple Omni Negate to get on the board. All the Synchrons of machines. Gadget Trio is a machine. So it's a pretty free Omni Negate. Now this guy right here, I've been in live streams, right? I've been around the block, lurking in these streams, and people seem to have issues with my guy, Summon the Monk. This card is old, right? But this card is still broken. There's a point in time this card was limited to 1, dude. Like, are we gonna act like this card is not actually kind of OD? Bro, let's talk about, it's once per copy. It's not a hard once per turn. And obviously, because I have this in here, I kind of want to utilize spell cards that have graveyard effects. This card is a much better normal summon than Gadget Trio could ever be. Simply because it's effect. Like, man, let me show you something, bro. I'll show you something when we get to it, bro. Archfiend. Waking up Possessed Archfiend. This guy is a crucial combo piece. Summons himself out of the deck if you control a Earth monster, level 4 or lower, with a Spellcaster monster. Spellcaster monster level doesn't actually matter, but this is a good combo piece. Can revive a monster from the grave. When it leaves the field, you can search Possessed Spell Trap. Right. That's it for the monsters. Now, this deck is pretty much like an all-gas build, but the only hand trap we actually play is 3 copies of Impermanence. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes 1 interruption could be enough to stop your opponent from playing the game if their hand is that bad. But yeah, this is the only hand trap in the deck. I don't run Ashes or nothing, none of the other stuff. Now, this next card is going to look incredibly random, but I promise you, if you really study the deck, and I don't know, if you even try it out yourself, if you want to build it on like Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega, and just witness how many lines of play this deck has, you'll realize that this card is actually fucking broken in this deck. Yes, this is actually searchable. It looks random as fuck, like I said, but because you're running Synchrons, obviously you have Synchros, so this is an Omni Negate. I did build this deck originally with Solemns, but Solemn is like a going first card, and Solemn is not searchable, so you just have to hope you drew into it. But because I found a way to actually search this card in different combo lines, it makes more sense to run this over Solemn. And then I also don't have to sacrifice half my life points in the process. Onto the spells, you run 3 Shining Sarcophagus. Obviously, you want to see this card. The whole Sarc archetype is dead without it, so pretty important. I run 1 Future Silence. Pretty much this is kind of used as combo extension for the most part. But if you draw it in your opening hand and you need to look for a particular combo piece, then you can use it then. Or if you want to try to bait out like an Ash Blossom or some shit. Now this card, most people only run like 2, even 1. But I turned this into a vital piece of the combo. 3-turn Silence. Now you're probably wondering, how could this be a combo piece when you primarily want to use it for like effect negation, right? Or like the cheeky battle in the battle phase from the banish thing, right? Well, the thing is like the level modulation effect that this thing does, it doesn't have to be a Sarc monster. You can use it on anything. So this has more uses outside of just negating effects now. It's actually a combo piece. and it's a very important combo piece. To go full combo, you need a turn silence. 3 Clockwork Knight. Bro, when I tell you that a Summoner Monk with a Clockwork Knight is a win condition, I'm not bullshitting. If this resolves, like if you say you go first and your opponent just straight up tells you they have no interruptions, they lose. They lose. I'm telling you, they lose. That's how broken this is with this build. Summoner Monk is still cracked, bro. I don't know where people are getting this whole. They're trying to act like this guy sucks or something. Like, no, that's crazy to me, bro. But it is what it is. 3 Clockwork Knight. Nah, that card's cracked. This shit searches your Regulus, it searches your Revolution Synchron, this shit searches your Gadget Trio, and yes, even if you normal summon this, yes, you can get Gadget Trio on the field anyway, bro. I promise you. That's why the combos are so sick in this deck. 2 Dark Roller. Since we don't really run hand traps, we go with the board breaker approach. Yeah, only 2, because virtually everything in this deck is a combo piece. You might even just draw into this anyway, or you could just potentially get Gandor to just resolve somehow, right? So there's ways to break the board. And even though you can't kill your opponent through this, if you can build your board anyway, it's going to be so hard for them to crack back on it that it doesn't really matter. Like, you probably just win anyway. I'm telling you, man, the end board is so ridiculous that your opponent has a high chance to just scoop if they see that shit. And that shit's not anything you can do with Ties That Bind, bro. 2 Duality. No, there are no extra deck targets. This is really just kind of for a graveyard effect. Light and Dark, banish this, send them back, and then draw a card. So this is pretty much just like extension or recycling certain monsters. Awakening of the Possessed. This is the continuous spell that you search off of Archfiend in the combo, and then this makes your end board incredibly big. Like for each different attribute, all your monsters gain 300 attack. So sometimes you'll have like all your monsters getting 1500 attack type shit. It's pretty crazy. 1 Stardust Illumination for the Stardust Synchron, and then 1 Synchro Rumble. And yes, when you see Synchro Rumble, you're thinking Crimson Dragon, and yes, you can make Crimson Dragon in this deck multiple times in the same turn, by the way. Let's go ahead and get to the extra deck. This is where all the sauce is at. Starting off, we have Garden Rose Maiden. Depending on combo line, you can make this. This basically has the same effect as Synchro Rumble. You banish this, and you can special summon a Dragon Synchro monster. It actually doesn't matter what the level is. But yeah, banish this, special summon a Dragon Synchro, so you can just bring some of your monsters back. So that's nice. Run 2 Junk Speeder. I want to get this one in QCR, but I might not, simply because my joke with this being different rarity is the the regular one is just if you just raw summon it, and then the QCR is the one with the main character plot armor. You know what I'm saying? So like the one you can't really stop. 1 Stardust Charge Warrior, draw a card, pretty much just kind of extension. Coral Dragon, pretty much the same thing, but the strongest board that you can make will use this. And then when it leaves the field, you get that draw. And it's in here because you specifically need a water type tuner. And that was the only way I could fit one in without changing the main deck. Ancient Fairy Dragon. It's what Sarcophagus needs, bro. Because most of the time, most deck builds I see, they summon a Gadget Trio and they lose to an Ash Blossom, like on the spot. Like, oh, my trio got ashed, I guess I just lose type shit. Nah, with Ancient Fairy Dragon, even if your Summoner Monk gets ashed, right? Then you just banish a Clockwork Knight, search the Revolution Synchron, go into this effect, special summon the Gadget Trio, get the Sarc combo anyway, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, you need the extra deck in Sarcophagus. I don't know why we're not using it, bro. It's just so simple. One Stardust Dragon and one Excel. Obviously, you go into Excel, and when you're doing your combo play, tribute this off, bring this out, and then go into your Junk Speeder with the plot armor, and then you just pop off, right? And then one Visas Amritara. Yes, this is summonable. Now I'm gonna show you something real quick, right? Slight tangent, but this is something that's actually useful to know. When you go to Junk Speeder, depending on the combo line, you can actually use all three of these to make Visas Amritara. Now you're probably wondering to yourself, how can you make a synchro with all tuners? Well, Visas Amritara has a weird summoning condition where it just says 1+ tuners and a light monster. Stardust Synchron is a light monster. This is level 4 as far as he's concerned. So you can just go into your Amritara, search your Mannadium Reframing off of these, and because you didn't use these, they all retain their graveyard effects. You see what I'm saying? So, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. So it guarantees that you get into your counter trap, despite, you know what I'm saying, going into a weird combo line. But I just wanted to point that out because that's something like a lot of people probably won't even realize. Because like I swear, you pull this out in a synchro combo and they're like, what the fuck? How the fuck? The people were probably gonna ask you, how did you make this? You see what I'm saying? Because people don't, Yu-Gi-Oh players don't read. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. And then we got Crystal Wing. Don't really need to talk about that. It's a nice effect negation. One Ching Ying. One Ice Jade. You know what I'm saying? This is part of your end board on the strongest board possible. This card is incredibly good. I'm telling you, the strongest end board possible with this deck is insanely cracked. Like, it's incredibly broken. One Stardust Cipher Divine Dragon. This card is incredibly good with Shining Sarcophagus, man. Basically, this is like you can almost think of this like a synchro version of Rudris. While it's not an Omni negate, it's like a Crystal Wing in that regard, where you can negate monster effects, but you have to destroy a card on the field. So you can just select Shining Sarcophagus and then nothing happens. Also, this protects all cards that you control. So this is actually how Gandora becomes one-sided. Because if you summon this, you can summon Gandora and nuke the board and keep all of your shit while your opponent loses all theirs. Because the first time each of your cards will be destroyed, it's not. Like, destroyed by card effect or battle. Even battle, bro. So, like, you don't really have to worry about too many things when you have Stardust Cipher Divine Dragon on the board. Because if they go to battle phase, you can just end the battle phase, or they have to swing into all your shit multiple times. And that's going to be really hard to get rid of like 5 monsters that have been eating their protein, bruh. Because these fools are like 5,200 and shit. So good luck with that, my G. One Cosmic Blazar. And of course we rounded off with the Crimson Dragon. Like I said, Crimson Dragon, you can summon multiple times in the same combo. So first you would probably tag him out, go into the Blazar, and then on your opponent's turn, you kind of just chill out on your second Crimson Dragon, see what they try to do. They activate Harpy's Feather Duster because Blazar would be on the field, right? You would just tag into the Cipher. Cipher will make Feather Duster's effect fizzle, Lightning Storm, whatever. The effect will fizzle, right? And so that's one card out of the way. And then you still have the Omni Negate, you still have a Monster Negate type shit. And then like the strongest end board possible with this deck has Cipher, Cosmic, Ice Jade, and then fucking a Regulus, bro. Regulus, man. And then like you also would have a Stardust Dragon with them. Like the only thing that's really stopping you at this point is like super poly, bro. You know what I mean? Because you can't really do much about it. But like this board is insane because it basically makes it to where your board is indestructible because it can't be destroyed by card effects or banished. If you try to destroy cards, like the back row and shit, this will protect it. You know what I'm talking about? You got the 2 Omni negates, you got the effect negate. You'll have the Vanadium reframing through the search. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just you'll have the Sarcophagus live. So if they try to summon something back from the grave, like nah, the end board is just insane. And like you can set this up through combo. Like it's wild. But that's really it for the for my current build of Sarc post crossover breakers. I'm really proud of the end result. You know what I mean? I would love to show you test hands, but you know that will require a lot of video time, and I don't think y'all want me to go over the many different potential combo lines that this deck has, because this deck has a lot. It can do a lot, and that's why I love it so much. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? That's it, and I will catch you guys later, man. Peace.